baby, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin the most athletic, the most athleticamente stream of all time. Baby, are you ready? Baby. That's right. Buckle up, because we are about to begin. Woo! Oh, baby. Are you ready yet? That's the real question. Are you ready to get corrupted by the magic of the one and only 5'11" greatest Senior Mr. Sorenzo, baby? What's happening? Ladies, gents, how are we? My goodness, it's the weekend. We're here. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Yes, you. How the hell are you doing? Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday. I don't know where you are in this world. As long as you play electric guitar. What happened to my music? Antoinette! Why did you change my song? I had a great intro. Unbelievable. That's right. Again. It warms up your vocal cords.
Everything that brought me alive.
That's right. Woo! My goodness, gosh, it's so good to see everybody. How the hell are you guys doing? How the hell are you doing? My gosh, man. Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday. We've got an awesome docket for today's stream. And for those who don't know, docket means topic of discussion, okay? It means beautiful topics of discussion! Now, first, we want to start with a correction note from last week's, okay? I'll get to it. I'll tell you about it, okay? Don't rush. So first, we are going to do a correction from last week's, okay? I'm going to let you know what I did wrong, okay? Secondly, we're going to talk about Fender's new American Ultra Luxe Vintage series that came out. Then, after that, we're going to talk about Megadeath's Farewell album. We're going to talk about Eddie Van Halen's guitar, the actual one that he held, being selling somewhere, okay? Just sell. Auction, crazy stuff going on, okay? Then, Jackson. We're going to talk about Jackson's new limited edition Pure Metal series. And then I'm going to tell you guys a couple of stories of weird things that happened this week, okay? And then we're going to gossip. We're going to do a lot of gossip in this stream, okay? We just gossip here. That's all we do. Zuhair! Speaking of gossip, what's happening? Good evening. How you doing? How you doing, Zuhair? All right, let's get the party started. So, we are going to change the mood a little, okay? I'm going to change the vibe of the music. And we're going to play something a little bit more relaxing so you guys don't go out of your minds listening to what I'm saying here, okay? That's important. And we are going to go through things. Beautiful things. First of all, first things first before we start. And I just wanted to start the stream with a note of correction from last week. And that note of correction is... last week, one of our friends on stream, Dorotio, recommended us to have a look at Vola guitars. Never seen them before. I was going through it for the first time last week. And I made a mistake. I was sleep deprived. If you guys see last week's stream, my eyes were red. I was like on 3 hours of sleep trying to operate. I said something very weird that after the stream I was like, hold on, why the hell did I even say that? So I cut it out the stream. But the people who saw it already, you know, you've seen it already. So I have to correct myself here, okay? I have to correct myself. What I said was that I don't like the design of the body of Vola guitars because of that edge here, you know, poking into your body as you play. And then after the stream, I was like, hold on, no, it doesn't. No, I still don't like the shape, and that's completely fine. It's a taste thing, right? But that bit is not going to poke inside your body. Every single electric guitar has, you know, its strap button there and whatever not, and it doesn't even touch the body. You know, your leg kind of sits down there, your chest sits back there. You know what I mean? Like, I'll show you guys what I mean. Like, have a look at this guitar. The strap button is right where it is, and if I play it, right, nothing really pokes inside my body like the, you know, it's standard. It's a pretty standard thing. And I don't know why I said what I said. I don't know why I said what I said, but I did it. Okay, so I have to correct myself. So, there's no crazy thing going on here. There's no extra poking or whatever not. But for some reason, in my sleep-deprived brain, I thought it was a smart thing to say, and I was wrong, okay? I was wrong. I admit it. So, we're gonna start that on a note of correction. If there are any Vola fans out there, if the Vola CEO is watching, we gave the CEO of Vola a message last week, okay? And if he still, you know, if you watched it, we just wanted to apologize for the incorrect information provided on stream. We strive to be very factual, okay? We strive to be extremely factual because we are electric guitar players. We're not some, stop the music. Hold on, this is serious talk here right now. Stop the music. We are striving. We strive. We strived, whatever the correct grammatical tense is, to be very factually accurate here. Unlike classical guitar players. Classical guitar players don't care, you know, they just go, whatever. My guitar has a hole. That's all a classical guitar person knows. But as electric guitar players, as non-guitar hole lovers, we like to be very factual, okay? So I just wanted to set the record straight. Set the record straight. Okay? All right, now that we've set the record straight, Zuhair asks, where do you pick the docket topics from for your live streams? The internet. You can search for guitar news. You can follow different people, and you can get an idea of, you know, when you read like online stuff, news, vlogs, blogs, YouTube videos, everything else, you get a vibe of what is going on in the guitar world at that point of time. And then you select the fun stuff. That's my extremely sophisticated process, okay? I'm good, just so tired. Why? Not like you've been working 3 jobs. You only been working 2 jobs. Why are you tired? What you? I don't even know why you say these kind of things, Zuhair. I don't understand. I'm glad you're well, dude. I'm glad you're well. I know you're tired. And I don't know, man. Pop a can of beer open. Just chill, relax, extend your legs. Let's have fun together. That's the way. So, with that said, let us start our first item on the docket, shall we? Because we did the correction. We did everything we needed to do. Let's get started. So, for those who live under a rock, or a stone for that matter, that's okay. Fender just announced their new American Ultra Luxe Vintage series. Now, what this really is, it's basically vintage and modern kind of being mixed together, right? It's like half vintage, half modern, but kind of modern where it matters. You know what I mean? That's the vibe. So the American Ultra Luxe Vintage series combines the singular sound and style of vintage Fender instruments with all the player-focused innovations of American Ultra 2. Featuring premium appointments like an iconic pure vintage pickups and aged heirloom lacquer finishes and stainless steel frets. These instruments offer both modern playability, authentic vintage vibes. So basically looks kind of vintage. It kind of sounds vintage because the pure vintage pickups are not are kind of reissues, modern reissues of the old pickups. And this is what they kind of look like. They're very, very pricey. So if you go to like Sweetwater right now, they're selling for like $3,000 a piece. This one is like the 50s Vibe Telecaster. And $3,000 is a lot of dough for a Telecaster, right? So if you look at the specs of this thing, I asked for the specs and I got everything but the specs, didn't I? Okay, so when you look at the specs of this thing, there we go. Heirloom lacquer finish. So I would suspect that if it's not nitro, it's very close to nitro. Because ultimately with these finishes, you want the yellowing, you want the aging of the guitar, right? So you kind of want that. Pure vintage 51 Tele single coil pickups, advanced electronics and S1 switching, stainless steel frets, select ash body with ultra contours and tapered neck heel. This is pretty I found this one really interesting. So you do have the contours for this one, right? And it's not gonna have the feel of an old school stuff. So they kind of trying to make it feel like a new school stuff, but sound like an old school stuff. Quarter sawn modern D profile neck, so not a C neck, it's a D neck, and it has a compound 10-14 inches radius on the fretboard, which is crazy, with rolled edges and lumen lace side dots. So there we go. Zuhair says, Sweetwater can be annoying a bit. I once ordered a guitar and they called me right after to ask if I was the one who ordered it and if I used my debit or credit card and so on. They called me later too on their own to ask if everything was okay with my purchase, blah. Okay. So you made a purchase and they called you to ask if it was you who ordered it? Like, are they trying to avoid like scams? Because it could be very well that, dude. Like, if there's a lot of scams going around, you would want them to reach out and touch base. Now, sometimes they use those as excuse to upsell you things. That'll be really annoying. If I buy something from a website and 3 minutes later after my purchase, some telemarketer, telesales guy calls me and is like, hey, by the way, this is some feature information that you could read on an online website and it's so good, do you want more? That'll be a little annoying. But if they're calling to just make sure they avoid scams or they do follow-ups with you, that's a good thing. Now, obviously, they do it for their own reasons. They want to build the relationship. They want to sell you more stuff. But at least that gives you also a window to tell them if something is wrong, and give them feedback. And if you got any issues, ask them to help you out. Not sure I get the reason behind the call, but it felt a bit overbearing since they called me 3 times at least over a few months. Oh, okay. Ask him not to. Tell them, dude, don't call me that much. Let them know. Tell them. Okay, so the way this works is that they have like these customer relation management CRM softwares, right? Sometimes it's on cloud, sometimes it's on computer, right? And what they do is like they got the client features there, they got notes there, and there are follow-up periods that you can set up for each client, And so when you tell them that, the person who's on the other side of the call, they can actually put that note on your profile or adjust the setting on your profile so that the computer shows your profile to that person later, right? Because this is how it works. They call, and then they click on whatever button on the screen that says, all right, I called this person. Next. Sometimes the system automatically do it, depending on your CRM. There's Salesforce, HubSpot does it, a whole bunch of other CRMs in the market, right? But some of them give you that ability to do that. And so if you let them know, hey, you're calling me too much, and call me less, or only call me if there was an issue, something like that, it might be of help. Or just completely opt out. But they certainly, at this point, man, with AI and everything taking over, there's no chance that their CRM doesn't give them the ability, to just call you less frequently. Push your profile later in the queue of all the profiles that appears in front of the telemarketer's screen. Do you know what I mean? So just let them know. Just communicate it with them. And you said something else. Do you know how many hours I work? Sometimes can work 2 jobs with way more hours than someone with 3 jobs and too few hours. I get it, dude. I get it. I like 70, 80 hours of work engagement is something that I currently do. So I get it. By the way, they emailed a couple of times too. Yeah, you can opt out, dude. Just communicate. As annoying as it is, just communicate with them, Because if you don't say it, if you don't say anything, they might not even know, right? You'll be surprised. So my first job out of college was actually like a call center job, like a sales job. And, I got a degree for nothing, basically. You know what I mean? And one of the things I learned, because for me it was always like, oh man, like telemarketers call, annoying, whatever, and I never appreciated it. I never liked it, right? If you got something for me, email it to me, and I look at it at my own convenience as opposed to you invading my space. You know what I mean? Like you just jump into my face unsolicited. One thing I learned calling hundreds and hundreds of people, right? I've called hundreds and hundreds of people. That was like, I did that job for about a year and a half, maybe. One thing I learned was that a lot of people actually want those calls. Not for the reasons you think. So some people want the follow-up. Some people want it for, for the sake of support, because that gives them a chance to vent and that gives them a chance to bring up issues and all that. But you'll be surprised. Some people actually used it as an excuse to have a chat, especially with like more elderly clients that we had. They didn't want to buy anything. They didn't have any complaints. They had their products and they were using it, but they were so happy for the follow-up that they just wanted to chat. They were like lonely, which was kind of sad. So I told you all of this to say that the operator that is giving you all these calls, obviously they do it for, making a relationship and selling and all that jazz. But for anyone who's listening to this, they might actually not know which category of those people you belong to. So if you let them know, more often than not, people do the right thing and just take your name off the stuff, especially for like a big retailer like Sweetwater, not some like obnoxious small house cleaning product company that they're just trying to shove you stuff, you know what I mean? Like aggressive salespeople. Unlikely for Sweetwater to have something like that, so if you just communicate it. Yeah, Zur says, yeah, follow-up calls, emails were a good thing overall since I felt supported and cared for, although if I was boss, I would listen a bit. That's all. Yeah, it's very important to listen when you make sales calls and marketing calls and all that jazz. I agree with you. Yeah. Anyways. So, going back to the guitar, a couple of things I really sort of like was happy about. I was like, oh, you know what? This is like a really good feature on this Telecaster. First of all, have a look at the curve on this neck body joint, right? That contoured heel really makes the neck hug at the higher frets better. Makes it really easier. I'll show you guys what I mean. So this is, funny enough, this is a 50s vibe Squier Telecaster. So this is not a Fender, this is a Squier. But the concept behind this and what you just saw on the screen is actually the same. Let's bring it back to the 50s. And you guys can see that on the neck body joint, the heel is a square. So when you want to do a neck hug, when you want to go to higher frets, this bit actually, you know, there's like actually full-on gap there. So this thing makes it a little bit more challenging to get to the higher frets when you do the neck hug at the high frets. When you contour the heel like that, the way Fender did, and it took him a while to do it, man. For some reason, I don't know why. Like, Telecaster's been around since the 50s. It took Fender a while to do this, but they did it. You know, so I'm happy about it. Actually, I find that feature like a really good feature. Right. All right, let me put this back. Now, check this out. One thing I noticed here as well was the fact that the body of the guitar is ash, and everybody knows Telecaster, you know, it's ash bodied, right? Believe it or not, if I'm not mistaken, the first Telecasters, the early on like actual 50s stuff, they weren't made out of ash. They were made with pine wood. They were pine. The Squier Telecaster that I showed you guys actually has a pine body, which that was like the reason I bought it, right? Now, for those who've ever played with pine body Telecasters before, like you know, pine body Telecasters are heavy. Like, they are heavy, right? It's a full back exercise to play them standing. And so with ash, obviously you get the brighter tones and it's a little lighter, and so it makes it for a perfect tone wood. But the first Telecasters were actually made out of pine. So if you guys ever buy that 50s vibe, classic vibe, Squier Telecaster with the pine body, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you go to a store and see a guitar made out of pine wood, just lift it and see how it feels like. It's a great experience. But it sounds great. Boy, oh boy, that neck pickup on that guitar with the pine. Oh my goodness, sounds great. So nice. So good. Yeah, you guys gotta try it. Anyways, so that elegant, ultra sculpted, rare body contours are as beautiful as they are functional, like that. So we want the contours to be there so the Telecaster doesn't feel boxy. It's easier to play, especially for someone with a belly like me. Okay, I don't know if you guys got a belly. I got a belly. Beautiful belly. And then, channeling a 1950s Tele, the heirloom lacquer finish reproduces the subtle patina and distinctive look of a treasured vintage instrument. So that's that. And then this is probably a shredder's dream. 10-14 inches compound radius, so it gets flatter as you go towards the neck body joint. And 14 inches, man, it's good for noodling. It's not 16 or 20 inches, granted, but 14 inch is like more flat than your average like classic guitar. You know what I mean? Like Gibson, Fender, they usually hover around 9.5. PRS around 10, right? So nice and round. 14 inches is good. We like that. Zuhair says, I got a little belly, but I wear skinny jeans, sometimes like you, trying to tone down my belly. Here's what I think is ideal, and I've been a practitioner of that, okay? I think skinny jeans all day, every day, okay? No question about it. But contrary to popular belief, I think big belly, right? Skinny jeans, skinny legs, very big belly. So big that it kind of like flops over your belt buckle. Do you know what I mean? Like skinny jeans and then athletic belly just hover over the belt buckle. I think that's probably the best. And the reason for that is because when you play guitar, you know, you want the extra cushioning if you really care about your guitar. And you don't want your belt buckle to scratch the back of your guitar. And it looks great too. Girls really dig that. Girls totally dig that. Big belly, you know, flops over the belt buckle, and skinny legs. Wow. Girls love that. So no, I don't think Zuhair, you should tone down the belly. I think you should work on it a little more. I think you should make it bigger. That's just my opinion. Like, I'll show you guys. I'll show you what I mean. Like the ideal body of a. Hold on, give me a second. I'll show you guys the ideal body of a. Ideal body of a guitar player, and then found it. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Unbelievable. I'm gonna move myself from here. This is the ideal body. This is how it should look like. So, and you guys might say, oh my God, like I got this one, you know, my belly is like this and so on and so forth. But imagine if you looked like that. Where's my camera? Imagine if you looked like that and you got the guitar strap around you. Athletic. Fancy, classy, elegant. I mean, what more can you ask for? Like, I think we all should strive to get this kind of body, okay? And it's good for the guitars too, because you're like, there's no chance in hell that your belt buckle is gonna scratch the back of your guitar, no matter how big the belt buckle is. Okay? Yeah, like athletic. Look at that. This is like athleticism. Masculine. So yeah, no, I disagree. I think you should work on it the other way around. And I don't know. It's just my opinion. You do you. Okay, like going back to the Telecaster. What I was saying is that 10-14 inch radius makes it feel really, really good. You know, we like that. So that's nice. And then stainless steel frets. Everyone's favorite. I don't know. For me, it's like, here's the thing with stainless steel frets, right? Obviously, slightly brighter tone, you know, than your others. But the thing with stainless steel is that stainless steel is really rigid. It's really hard as a metal, like as a, you know, and it's not just like, oh, you know, it's a really hard metal. And so now the good thing about it is that it lasts longer than softer pieces of metal that you put as frets, right? It lasts a lot longer. So that's a good thing, considering the fact that a fret job is going to cost you like $300, $400 easily, right? Depending on where you are, like bigger cities like, you know, LA or New York, you know, probably a lot more. You know, you go to other states, other countries, maybe less. I don't know, depending on where you guys live. It's going to cost differently, but it costs a lot. It's one of those fixes to the guitar that costs actually a lot of money. And so if you go like, you know, you got a $500 guitar and then you go to refret it for like $400, it kind of doesn't make any sense, right? It's like you got like a $10,000 car and then every time you need to change the wheels, like the tires, you have to pay like $9,000. Doesn't make any sense, right? So stainless steel is really good in that sense because it's a very hard metal and it lasts very long. Like, you know, you have to play that guitar every day for years till you actually have to change those frets. Polish is different, so I'm talking only about changing the frets, right? So polishing it, servicing it, maintaining it, that's a different story. But changing them, like pulling them out, replacing them, takes years, right? So that's a good thing. From a luthier and a tech person standpoint, though, when you're like making those and putting them in the guitar, they're really hard, so it makes your job a little harder. They're less malleable, things of that nature. But that's the thing I think with steel, stainless steel. Like, yes, does it make the tone a little brighter? Yes. Is it the ultimate thing in the definition of your guitar tone? No. Does it last longer? Yeah. So that's a good thing. But like tonal wise, I think it's a little overrated in terms of like how people say it sounds like. But yeah. So we got the pure vintage Tele 51 single coil pickups, advanced electronics and switching, thank God. And one thing you notice, by the way, is that there was an angle on that pickup switch. See that? And that angle is because when you're strumming, when you're playing, this is the angle that your arm actually moves with. It doesn't move like that. You kind of strum like this. And so when you angle that a little bit, it makes the switching of those pickups halfway through your works a lot easier. Most other Fenders don't have that. This modern switching that's what they're basically talking about, right? It's just that angle, and that little bit of a change actually counts for something, right? Because these pickup switches are not Gibson styles, right? The Fender styles are a little different, and it's angled this way. You can't actually change the angle of the switch after you receive the guitar. But if you got Gibson style pickup switch, I'll show you guys. So if you guys got Gibson style switches, like these ones, right? You could literally unscrew the cap here and dig into this cavity and literally rotate your pickup switch. So right now it goes at this angle, right? I can rotate it and make it go like that way instead of this way, right? So with those kind of pickups, the three-way switches, Gibson styles, you can actually make adjustments to the angle the way this works. I've done them on my N4 guitars. I've done it on this. So it works just fine. But with Fenders, you can't actually do that. And so the fact that they've angled it, I think is really good. Yeah, you can rotate those switches, pal. I don't know about your PRS. I know you got a PRS guitar. Check out just unscrew this stuff and then see if you can actually rotate it. And you can. If the current switch is not comfortable or you have to sort of struggle to switch it halfway through, you can play around with that. And it's nothing crazy. Literally unscrew it, just rotate it a little bit, make sure you're not pulling any wires or anything of that nature. And there's usually enough wire for you to rotate it, right? Yeah. And the way to do it, by the way, if the switch is like the one that I've got at home, unscrew the back, and then you have to unscrew the switch itself. I'll show you. So you open the cap back there, and then you unscrew from here, and it loosens up. But don't do it too much because the whole thing is going to come out, right? Just a little. And then from the back end, rotate it a little, and then re-screw the front, tighten it up, and then put it back there. You're good. So yeah, so you got the screws for the cap, like the cavity, and then you got the screw at the front for the switch itself. So you got to undo both of them before you can do that. Yeah. And then you got the Ultra Tele bridge on this guitar. So the difference between this bridge and the other Tele bridges is that you see this piece of metal here? Usually Tele bridges got it like here and there as well. I'll show you guys what I mean. So Google Telecaster bridge image. See this? See the metal bits here? Metal, metal, metal. It has a frame. This one doesn't have that frame anymore. So your hand kind of sits right there. Makes the access, I guess, better, right? And that is this vintage guitar. I really like it. Look, I like the fact that it's there. For $3,000, I think it's a little pricey, especially considering the fact that, like, okay, so this one's for $3,000, right? Like $3,000, right? If you look at the American Pro 2, right, for $1,700, so almost half of that price. Look at the specs of this. So if I go to specs, you know, it's a roasted pine. Oh, actually, I didn't know that the American 2s come with roasted pine. Well, there you go. It's actually pine body. Deep sea, 9.5-inch radius, maple. So to be fully honest, the American Pro 2 is kind of a lot more, and in some ways, is a lot more loyal to the old school way of doing things, right? And so I don't know whether the difference between this guitar and this guitar is $1,300. I don't know that. I don't think there is that much of a difference for $1,300 to justify it. Now, is this a great guitar? Probably. I just don't know whether $3,000 is the way to go for it. Yeah. And again, this is the thing, right? Like, this is a very common theme that happens every time we talk about guitar pricing and all that jazz. Because every time I, like, you know, talk about a certain kind of guitar, very commonly some people say, oh, look, that's too expensive. Rightly so, right? Because the purchase of guitar, a lot of it is a very emotional thing. And so something that might worth $3,000 to somebody might not worth that much. So we all got that thing going on. But because it's such an emotional purchase, like it's an artistic purchase, right? So it's really emotional. Because it's emotional, the companies get to charge a lot more. Because whenever it's emotion, you know, whatever they want to charge, you can just justify it one way or the other, right? You know, oh, heirloom lacquer has got to, you know, surely that's got to worth $3,000. It's going to look old school. You know what I mean? Oh, heel contours, body contours, so crazy. And then on the other side, you know, you get the point. You get the point. Now, funny enough, I read somewhere online this week that people are calling this the Sir Killer. And I'm like, get the hell out of here. The Sir Killer? Really? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. Zohair says, you're married, right? When you play guitar, do you play through headphones? I am not married, but I live with my better half. We're partners, and we've been living together for almost 9 years now. So yes, for all intents and purposes, I am. And do I play guitar through my headphones? Not always. Mostly not, actually. She is amazing, by the way. She is amazing. She is very accommodating. And she lets me go loose, right? Like all this stuff that I do, like, hold on. Stop the music. Again, important piece of the conversation. Stop the music. Stop. All this stuff that I do here, look at me. Look. Zuhair, look into my eyes. I can't make it any bigger right now. That's as far as I can come, okay? Hopefully that makes you uncomfortable enough. All the stuff that I do here, times 10 is to her, and she survives that. Okay? Play guitar through my speakers. And by the way, so good of you to bring it up. I wanted to tell you guys a story about my new speakers. Something crazy happened this week. But going back to playing guitars through speakers. Yes, you can. Too uncomfortable. Close my eyes just listening. Oh, okay. I'll make my voice a little bit more soothing. ASMR. We're in the ASMR section of the stream now. Close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. On Twitch, on YouTube. If you're watching but not chatting, just close your eyes. Close your eyes. If you can't look at me, imagine me. If you can't look at my beautiful eyes, you get to hear my soothing voice. And that's all that matters. So that's okay. If you find the right person in life, you get to have sex. Sorry, that's a different thing. You get to play guitar loud at home. And if you live in a more suburban area, you're not going to have annoying neighbors saying, "Oh my God, you're being too loud. You're being too loud. You're being too loud with your electric guitar. I'm a classical guitar player. I don't like loud electric guitars." You don't get any of that. You don't get that. And that's why it's so important to make sure that the person that you live with is accommodating of your electric guitar, headbanging, and loud sound needs. They should be accommodating of those needs, okay? If they're not, kick them out. Okay? I remember I dated this girl 12, 14 years ago, whatever. And I played the guitar really loud at home. And she was like, my ears are hurting. And I was like, my girl's broken. So I sent her back. I called the customer service, her mom, and I said, "No mas, okay?" And her mom was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I'm like, no, I'm returning the product, okay? Refund, okay? And they were very upset that day. But on the bright side, I got to play my guitar loud, and that's what that matters really in life, okay? But with my current partner, we've been living together for 9 years, and that's amazing because I get to play loud. That's how it should be, yes. Now, let me know when you open your eyes so I can say, "Look at me." But for now, just imagine me, and that's okay. You guys let me know when your eyes are opened. Now, while you're imagining me, I like to tell you a quick story about my speakers. Okay, look at me. Now, open your eyes. That's it. Enough. Bring the music back on. Antoinette! Where's my assistant? Antoinette! Where's my music? Play it before I fire you. You play it! Unbelievable. Zuhair says, "Can you imagine being a guitar lover and having someone in life who doesn't like playing the guitar loud?" No. I can't imagine dumping somebody either. I can't imagine. I'd really try. Unbelievable. Okay? Guys, find the girl that treats you like the prince you are. Okay? You should have as many electric guitars as you want. Play them as loud as you want. As many hours as you want. And that's like the basis. Like the standard. Okay? That's how it should be. And if you're a girl and you're watching the stream and you're like, "Oh, well, what about me? Like, I'm a woman. What if the guy that I'm with doesn't like electric guitars. To that, I would say, change him for a real man. Right? If you're dating a guy who's like, I don't like electric guitars. My more important things in life, electric guitars, not a thing. Or even worse, if you date a classical guitar player. Oh my goodness. Burn his guitar and go and find a real man with electric guitars. Or at least is accommodating of electric guitars. So it goes both ways, not just guys, girls too. We're very inclusive on this stream. Okay? Now, going back, I want to tell you guys a story actually this week. So, this is what happened. I bought a new set of monitor speakers. Okay? Studio monitor speakers. And for those who don't know what they are, but you've heard of them before, studio monitor or monitor speakers or just monitors. I say monitor speakers because when I say monitor, everyone thinks of monitor like the screen. Okay? But these kind of speakers, these monitor speakers, produce the sound with no change in the EQ. Like their goal is to produce the sound as honestly as possible to the track, right? And I wanted to buy a new set because I was sick and tired of making content. And then at the end, the sound wasn't as EQ'd as I liked it to be, right? So I bought a pair. Now, the first one that I bought, so I had to buy a pair of speakers, and then I had to return it. And I'll tell you what, Mac CR4X studio monitor. Check this out. So this is what I first bought. Hold on. There we go. The CRX, the Mackie CRX, CR4X rather. It's a pair of 4-inch monitors, right? This is it. I bought this. Now, it was a horror show. So what happened was, I bought it. It arrived a few days ago, and I installed it, set it up, everything good to go. And I'm like, all right, I gotta start going to my DAW and playing around. So I tried to listen to it to a snare sound through them. And then what happened was it was just cutting the tail end of my snare. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. Is it something wrong with my DAW? I reset the computer, come back, still the same. Maybe there was a noise gate somewhere. No, there's not. I go on YouTube and just play a random song. And it still does that. It just cuts the low end of the music. Not the low end, rather, the lower volumes. And then I go to Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever it was. And I'm like, all right, well, does it do it to conversations? And it does that too. So it turns out that this weird studio monitor has a noise gate in it, but that noise gate threshold is really high. And then when you go to the support, it'll say, look, you guys, the way to use this pair of monitor speakers is to crank up everything to 100 in terms of volume on your operating system, on your DAW, and on your media player, and on your sound interface, just everything up to 100, and then control the volume on the knob, the level knob that is on the speakers. And you're not gonna have any issues. And I'm like, that is weird. Because, you know what I mean? Because if you crank everything up when it comes to recording stuff, like when you want to play back what you recorded, that has an impact. You know what I mean? That's gonna blow things out of proportion. This is weird. But then what they say on the website is like, look, the volume knob that you play around there doesn't have any bearing on that noise gate. So as long as you crank everything up behind it to 100 and play around with that knob, you can even lower the volume of the knob however much you want and you're good. It's not true. So like whatever I do to this speaker, and I changed the cable, like I used RCA to RCA cables, I used TRS to RCA cables, I used TRS to TRS cables, and 3.5 aux mil, right? 3.5 aux cables too. I used all of it. Did not work. So I was frustrated. I spent like hours on this trying to figure this out, and didn't work. So I took it back to the store that I bought it from. And I'm like, hey guys, this is an issue. And inside that store, my local store is great, by the way. Upstairs, when you go, it's a big store. You go upstairs, there's the studio section with everything. They have a mock, like a real studio with like soundproof walls, like a whole room, right? With everything in it so that you can like test things out. It's amazing. It's an amazing store. So I go there and we test it out, and the lady that was helping me out with it was like, yeah, you're right. This is ridiculous. I'm like, I can't produce like this. Like, unless I crank this up and like, and I, make things really loud, I can't hear. That's ridiculous. That shouldn't be like that. And she's like, yeah, no, you're right. That's messed up. So she was like, all right, so what do you want to do? Do you want to return it for refund? Do you want to replace it with the same one? Do you want to get another one? And I'm like, all right, well, what you got? So long story short, we ended up getting this one, KRK 3.5 inch. And these are the ones that I'm using right now. So I got these now. And Create, the KRKs, obviously is the gold standard. These ones are very small ones because my desk is only this big and I don't need it. Like, they're more than enough to feed the whole room. But they're great. They're amazing. And KRKs are, tried, tested, and true in the industry. So I couldn't be more happy with these ones. They work perfectly fine. The signal is great. The quality is great. It's just fine. It works amazing. So I told you this. So if by any chance anybody wanted to go for a more affordable pair of monitors, and you got the Mackie CR, because it showed up on Amazon, right? I saw it on Amazon. And I was like, all right, well, instead of buying it from Amazon, I'll buy it from my local store. I pay like $20 more, like $20 more, but at least I get the support. And I was right on that. I made a good decision there, because I was like, all right, well, what if it's faulty or whatever not? I wasn't expecting this issue. I thought it's just, whatever fault it is, it's just easier to just go there and figure things out. So yeah, not a fan of this. Disgraziat. Mackie is, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Right. Zuhair says, I have Logitech speakers. Would getting studio monitors be useful for me in any way to record cover videos? No. Look, it'll be of help, but not that crazily much. If you're producing already and you're happy with the EQing of your sound, then you might not need it. Yeah. Yeah, the brand is Mackie. No, it's not Razer. I know what you're talking about. Razer. For those who don't know, Razer like produces headphones, gaming headphones, mouses, and all that jazz. No, it's not Razer. It's Mackie. But yeah, look. So obviously consider the quality of your microphone or how you record, right? So if you got a sound interface, you go direct to computer, whatever, right? So the quality of input matters, but as long as you're happy with the output and the outcome of that, the EQing and everything else, and you think what you're hearing from the speakers is true, is honest, is good enough for you to figure things out, then probably you don't need it. And the way to figure that out is like listen to your own stuff on your phone, listen to your own stuff on somebody else's speakers or headphones, different headphones, whatever. And that'll give you a good idea of what the variances are if you do it enough times. One of the things I do actually is that whenever I produce something, once in a while, I listen to it through my partner's headphones. I listen to it through iPhone earpods. I listen to it through iPhone speaker, and I listen to it through my own speakers. And then that gives me an idea, because each of these hearing devices are different in their EQ, one way or the other. So, if what you already get is good enough for that, then no, I think you should be good. But yeah, now, the funny thing about this was like, I returned this back, right? So I give the store a call and I'm like, hey, this has the issue. The lady's like, bring it in. I saw the same lady that on the next day when I took it in. She was like, she was really friendly. She was very, very friendly, very kind, but like, I don't know, like, this person was like, the way that like this person spoke to me was like a little funny. It was like a good time of the month, maybe, I don't know. was like, oh yeah, like hello, yes. Like you brought the speakers in, yeah. Oh my, okay, yeah. No, you're right, totally. You know, and I'm like, okay. Zuhair says, I got a YouTube ad right in the middle of my speech. I didn't do the ad, dude. It's automatic. It's all of it is auto. Which part of my speech do you want me to repeat? I can give you speeches, beautiful speeches, okay? I am the speech man in chief. Which part of it did you miss? Nothing. You're good. Okay. So yeah, that was a story with the studio monitors. So I learned my lesson. I will never buy that brand ever again. Was a few seconds. Yeah, sorry, dude. This is all like automatic. I'm not. I'm not like, because you can't do it in a way that you press a button and then something, whatever, pops up. I'm not. I'm just leaving it for. There's a setting in YouTube that says best experience for viewer, like balanced, and I'm like, all right, good, and then automatically does all of it. So I think we really spent enough time on the first item on the docket, didn't we? The Fender stuff. So with that said, let's go to the next item on the docket. Dave Mustaine says, don't be mad. Don't be sad. We changed the world. Mustaine makes emotional statement as Megadeath announced final album. The thrash metal outfit will call it quits following the world tour supporting their upcoming 17th record. Was that an impact of Ozzy's farewell? I wonder. But 17 records is a lot of records, eh? 17 albums. Like 30 years, 35 years. It's insane. Megadeth have announced that their 17th studio album, which will arrive next year, will be their final record. The reveal was preceded on social media by a post yesterday which read, "The end is near," leading many fans to speculate as to what was coming. Now, in a new post on the band's social media pages, usually voiceless mascot Vic Rattlehead makes the monumental announcement, heralding the end of band's 40-year plus career. For over 4 decades, I've been chained in silence, but the end demands my voice, Rattlehead says. It is confirmed the next Megadeth studio album will be the last. 40 years of metal, forged in steel, ending in fire, and when the new year rises, the global farewell tour. You've heard the warning, now prepare yourself. Cyberarm, stay loud, stay tuned, and meet me on the front lines. Yeah. It's insane, man. Ha! The album will be followed by a huge worldwide farewell tour. There's so many musicians that have come to the end of their career, whether accidental or intentional. Most of them don't get to go out on their own terms on top, and that's where I'm at in my life right now. I've traveled the world, have made millions upon millions of fans, and the hardest part of all of this is saying goodbye to them. We can't wait for you to hear this album. This is also a perfect time for us to tell you that it's our last studio album. Don't be mad, don't be sad. Be happy for us all. Come celebrate with me these next few years. We have done something together that's truly wonderful and will probably never happen again. It's crazy. It's crazy. Can I tell you guys something? This is the thing that impresses me about Dave Mustaine more than anything. More than anything else. I think this is where he deserves the credit. Whenever a musician, a guitarist, leaves a band, a famous band, they never, like, very, very unlikely to make it as big as they did in that big band. Think of any guitar player that left a band and then they made it big outside of that band. There's not many you can't think of, right? Even if they tried. Like, I remember Ben Moody and Evanescence's example. Like, when Evanescence's 2003 album Fallen really exploded and Ben Moody they had some tensions in the band and he left, they started a new band sounding very similar to him in a sense, called We Are the Fallen, and they never made it. Other bands, the Solosis guy who left Architects. Hundreds of examples, man. Hundreds of examples. Dave Mustaine was one of the very few top 0.1% that left Metallica out of all bands, like the biggest metal band of all time, right? And still made this ginormous band. And not only that, like, Metallica, Megadeath, Anthrax, and Slayer are the Mount Rushmore of thrash metal, right? They're the 90s. And Dave Mustaine made it big. And that's, I think, is impressive. And not just the difficulty of making it in the industry, the fan expectations, the emotional burden of having to hear Metallica every day on the album, they're rocking it, and now you're trying to make something big. To just tackle all of that, to survive through that headwind is insanity. And you have to respect him for it. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Megadeth music, but I respect the heck out of Dave Mustaine for this. Yeah. Zohair says, I will be sad when Megadeth goes and Dave goes. So many great songs. Did you hear Brett Line was listening to that today? I've never heard Brett Line. I'll check it out. Thanks for that suggestion. Hold on. Let me type it somewhere. Hold on. Brett Line. Notes. Hold on. Brett Line. Megadeth. Okay. It's on the list now. Thanks for that, dude. I'll check it out. Robot Unit Warehouse. I just got here, dang. What's happening, baby? How are you? I think Megadeth got so big because it changed so much on every album. They were very versatile. And as much as I love Kirk Hammett, Dave was technically a better guitar player and a more versatile guitar player. So yeah, no, they were great. They were really good. And I love the fact that he stuck to the V-shaped electric guitars. Now he's back with Gibson again. But even his Dean guitars are pretty good. Like I like pretty thrash. You know what I mean? V guitars are thrash metal. Yeah, you can't respect the man enough for it, man. It's unbelievable. Like, and the thing is, metal community. This is the thing about metal community that metal has been my life forever, right? I love people in our community. Our community is amazing. Like, our community is the community that we go to, like, metal concerts and there's a guy on a wheelchair and we lift that person up. And, like, this is metal community to me. Hold on. This is like metal mosh pit wheelchair. I saw this image the other day and I was like, this is so beautiful. This is so us. A bunch of misfits, a bunch of people that got something to say and something to feel. Look at that. I saw this the other day. And I'm like, this is beautiful. This is how good our community is. We care. We're very different, but we care. But one of the things I don't like about our community is the fact that we are very unaccepting of other people's preference of metal. We got that going on. A lot of us, not all of us. Most of us are, again, pretty cool about it. But there are some of us, very vocal minority, that like, oh, that's not metal. Oh, that's crap. Oh, that's whatever. Oh, that's not real, like, doom metal. That's not real black metal. That's actually whatever. Who cares, right? In that environment, competing with a band like Metallica that you just got kicked out of, and Metallica is like blowing up, right? These guys are selling out arenas, and you have to start from scratch and hear all that. You know what I mean? Yeah, Metallica, yeah, you know what I mean? And imagine being him at that time. Like, how do you survive that? It's insane. Robot, for me, Rust and Peace marked my teenage years. Like, that album really moved me to listen to more thrash metal. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Zuhair says, yeah, good point. Dave had a lot of pressure. He did. He really did. I think it's a lesson for all of us, man. Like, if the guy could survive that kind of peer pressure, outside pressure, and still being honest with his art and doing what he loves to do, play the guitar, surely we can do that too. Like, there are some times when I get comments on my YouTube videos that are not necessarily the nicest, right? I'll show you guys this example. So, hold on. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to show you the example. It's on the channel, but I don't want to call out the person who posted this comment. I don't want to be unfriendly. Their comments wasn't the nicest, but I don't think it's right for me to say, all right, that's his name. Like, check it out. In my most recent video, so I made this video about Jackson guitar flaws. If you haven't seen it, you guys should check it out. I posted it yesterday. It's this video. And in this video, I talk about an issue that I have with one of my guitars. It's a Corey Bailou's signature Jackson. And to fix those issues, I had to sand the neck. I had to fix the frets. I had to do a whole bunch of work on that guitar. And I recorded all of it. I talked about the issues, how am I going to do to fix it, and things of that nature, right? And one person commented something really weird. So imagine this shot. Can you guys see the Hello Kitty guitar gig bag right there? It's a Hello Kitty guitar. I bought a Hello Kitty guitar because I thought it was funny, and it came with a gig bag, right? And the guy who commented was like, yeah, be original, bro. You got a Hello Kitty guitar at the back. Be original, peace. And I'm like, what does it have to do with anything? My Jackson guitar has that issue, and this is what I'm going to do to fix it. And the reason I made the video was to, give my feedback to you guys. If you guys want to buy the same guitar, you know what you're buying now. And I talk a lot about how you fix and maintain guitar and you set it up. So hopefully somebody learns a couple of things from it. And that was the point of the video. And then the guy goes like, Hello Kitty, like, be original, bro. Why are you buying Hello Kitty guitar? And I'm like, what does it have to do with anything? Right? And I said it to say, look, if Dave Mustaine could, this is what I told myself. I'm like, if Dave Mustaine could like deal with millions of people telling something like that to him and still do his thing and become successful, surely I can take some random online comment. That was my attitude towards it. And I just wanted to say, look, maybe we all can have that attitude towards our guitar life, but our other parts of life. You know what I mean? There are people out there that have the headwind of millions of people trashing you, and they still do this stuff, and they still make it happen. And I love that. So if anyone's having a down time, down moment, not feeling great, they feel a lot of pressure from outside, hopefully Mr. Dave Mustaine can motivate you a little and get you out of your shell. Robot says, have you listened to Morning High? I just found them the other day, and those kids made feel pride, man. Thrashing these days are rare. Really? No, I haven't heard of those guys either. Hold on. I don't know who they are. Oops. Give me a second. I do not know who those guys are. Let's find them. What is that? Morning High? M-O-U-R High. Who is these guys? I'll check them out. Yeah, I don't know who they are. I'll check them out. Thanks for the suggestion, dude. Let me type that here. Morning High. Thrash band. Got it. Yeah, it's these guys. I'll check them out. Zuhair says, totally agree about taking courage from Dave Mustaine. Love your insight on this. We need to take inspiration from our heroes. 100%, man. Well, the thing that nobody says, everybody talks about, the heroes and their achievement. What nobody talks about a lot is what they have to have in them to overcome all that adversity, And Dave Mustaine is not perfect. He, when he comes to his relationship with other people, his drug and alcohol usage. So by no measure saying the guy is a perfect guy. Nobody is. right? We're not being judgmental here. But my gosh, hundreds of millions of, like, not hundreds of millions, like millions of people trashing you and you still surviving and making things happen of something of significance is impressive. All right. Shall we go to the next item on the docket? Now, check this out. Sorry. Yes. I just need to refresh it a little bit, okay? And I have to show the logo and the brand so that somebody doesn't think that I'm drinking alcohol on the stream and then report the stream, and then next thing I know, YouTube's on my back. That's happened to creators before. They open a can, nobody sees the thing, and everyone's like, oh, it's beer! It's beer! It's beer! Why are you drinking beer on your stream? Beer! Beer! Like, Pepsi. Okay. Don't go around saying, oh my god, it's not Coke! It's not Coke! Don't do that. This was on special, okay? There's discounts on it, and I bought a couple of slabs. Unbelievable. All right, let's go to the next item on the docket. Now, have you guys heard of Eddie Van Halen? Van Halen's #1 Kramer is off for auction, which is insane, by the way. I thought his son Wolfgang had his guitar. I didn't know it's up for sale. I thought the guy's playing with it. I thought that was his thing. Like, if you're his son, why would you sell that guitar? Anyways, I guess we know why, because it's estimated to sell as much as $3 million. So, later this year, an iconic piece of rock history is going up for auction. Eddie Van Halen's #1 Edward Van Halen model Kramer electric guitar from the early 80s is expected to sell for as much as $3 million. Could you believe that? Back in 2023, I covered Eddie Van Halen's Kramer go to auction. #1 Kramer is going up for sale at Sotheby's as well, listed as Van Halen's iconic Kramer Electric 9082. This guitar is going between $2 to $3 million. Holy smokes. This famous model was based on his original Frankenstein Strat, which he built from parts and will be recognized by any Van Halen fan, obviously. And look at that, man. Holy smokes. What a piece of history. Built around 1982, this guitar's stage use has been thoroughly documented. It was played on numerous occasions during Van Halen's 82-83 tours, including shows at the Philadelphia Spectrum on October 19th and 20th, 1982. Throughout the band's entire South American tour in 1983, with stops in locations like Venezuela, Brazil, and Argentina. Dorotio! What's happening? How you doing? ¿Cómo estás? As they say. ¿Qué hay de nueva? As they say. In fact, the thing, EVH acts with the famous hockey stick headstock. Hell yeah. Hell yes. Here's the thing. You guys know what I find hilarious about Eddie Van Halen. Not Eddie Van Halen. I'll repeat what I said. You guys know what I find really funny about the Eddie Van Halen guitar, this guitar, the Frankenstein Strat? Here's what I find hilarious about it. You have brands like Gibson, PRS, and one thing these brands do, they're meticulous. And other brands these days too, right? Especially PRS, they're meticulous about how small details in guitar building is like inches, micrometers, material. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're so, like, everything is so measured and careful, because if something little goes wrong, the whole thing goes out of whack. Like how your finish is and how your whatever is, because it has an impact on the final sound. Right? 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 And then Eddie Van Halen comes like, oh, like, like, you want to glue the neck to the body, cassette neck, or you want to do it neck through for sustain? How about I just screw it? Here, like, I'm going to screw my neck to the body. Here, how does that sound? Oh, you're talking about the thickness of your finish or the thickness on the collar on the guitar and how it impacts the resonance of the tone wood? Here, some spray paint. How does that for you? Oh, like your pickups like have to have whatever coils to produce certain kind of sound, have to be certain material. Here, my pickups are not even fixed properly. I'm just gonna go with like whatever this configuration is with middle pickup missing. Do you know what I mean? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like all these companies going around and being so meticulous about details because the sound output has to be this and that. And then like Eddie Van Halen goes like, buys a random neck, puts it on the guitar, take a spray paint out of trash can and just spray the freaking thing. Tries, I don't know, takes the pickup to get fixed by some guy who doesn't know how to fix pickups, and then still comes out and sounds great, and everybody loves him. I just find that aspect hilarious. I don't know, is it just me or you guys find it funny too? It's really funny. Like, because this is the thing, and that's partly me too, right? I'm so obsessed with guitar details. Like, half the stuff we do on the stream here, because I love it. It's so about, this spec and that spec and the impact, and it's well and true. Like, we're not making this stuff up. But the fact that somebody like Van Halen comes like, here, all right, spray paint, and then here, screw it over, whatever, here's some crappy pickup, and still sounds awesome, is hilarious. Like, it in a way, it makes me hopeful. Like, the tone is in your fingers after all. Dorothea says, I'm doing good, vatos locos. Orale. Holmes, what's happening, baby? Good to see you. Robot says, podcaster built video, maybe. What do you mean by that? Like, is there a video of the build of the parts caster? You want me to do a video of a parts caster? That's a great idea. I should do that, actually. I like it. Like, start it from the scratch and build everything up and glue everything together, screw everything together. And yeah, that's a good idea, actually. I will take a note of that. Hold on a second. Parts caster video. That's a great idea, dude. Can buy a neck. I'm not going to build the neck from scratch. Screw that. I don't know how to do it, and I'm not going to learn how to do it either. It's going to take a lot of time. But I can just get like stuff and put frets in it, and like as long as the wood is there, we can figure something out. I love that idea. Thanks, dude. I genuinely jotted it down. We'll make something happen on that front. I like it. Dorothea says EVH was a guitar visionary, maybe the most influential besides Randy Rhoads. Both made the biggest impact on rock and metal. Hell yeah. No question about it, man. They both think outside the box. Yeah, tapping. Like one of the best examples ever. And to this day, like gent guys and metal guys and Instagram guys who do fast shredding. Who did it? Van Halen. Right? Like, he might have not invented it. That was the guy who took it to the next level and popularized it. I don't know whether he could have been very well the person who invented it, right? There's like debates on that. You're 100% right. Him, Randy Rhoads. There's a few guys who really just changed things forever, and my goodness, it's insane. Robot says yes, yeah, dude. No, I love that idea. Thanks so much. This is what I love about the chat, man. This is what I love about the chat. That's a great idea. So yeah, this is the thing. The tone is really in your fingers. It really is. And for somebody who has like a few guitars at home, there are moments like this when I sit back and I think, oh, you know what, man, just, do this stuff, buy the stuff you want. Make it like Disneyland at home. Whatever works in your life and whatever makes you happy, do it. But just don't take your eye off what actually matters when it comes to your playing. And moments like this, and you guys in the chat, remind me of that. So thank you. It's so important. It humbles you. It gets back to practice. I practice every day. But it gets me to go back to it more, with more fire, with more vigor. So it humbles you. It really does. For those who are willing to learn, knowing that Eddie frickin' Van Halen, got this and changed history. It humbles you. Robot says, they basically made a foundation so this new players we have now have refined to an extent that's just majestic. It really is. It really is. Imagine the lives these guys changed by just being honest to their art. Just how many kids got out of depression or forgot about their problems every day? How many adults? How many people got inspired to pick up the electric guitar and change their lives forever? Majestic is the good word for it, man. Got pretty deep, sorry. I'm feeling it emotionally, so sorry, I didn't mean to, if it's a bit too deep for some people. But yeah, it just emotionally got to me a little. All right, shall we talk about the next item on the docket? Can I tell you something? I had mixed feelings about the next item on the docket because literally I made a video not long ago about why I'm done with Jackson guitars. I told you guys earlier on the stream. For those who just joined, I did this video. Check it out. I posted it a day ago about Jackson King V guitar that I bought. It had flaws. I fixed those flaws. What the flaws were, what my recommendations were, how I fixed it, all of it is in that video. And I literally posted it saying I'm done with Jackson guitars. The reason I have mixed feelings about it is because on the news, there is this new Jackson Pro Series, and I was like, it's interesting to check it out. but I'm a little upset at Jackson, right? I'm a little upset at Jackson. But I thought it will be an interesting talk, and I thought you guys will find it interesting. So I'm like, you know what? Screw my feelings about it. It is an interesting topic, really objectively, so let's talk about it. Jackson Guitars came out with this limited edition Pro Plus series called Pure Metal. And these are the three models that are there. This is the Warrior, this is the King V. And then you got the Randy models as well. Check it out. Oh, Randy Rhoads Legendary. All right, let's check the Randy out, dude. If you like the Randy more, let's check the Randy out. There we go. Dorothea says also, y'all guys watching the UFC fight tonight? Yeah. I don't know. It's not long after this. I think it's in a couple of hours. Yeah. I am watching that. It'll be good to see what Kamzat does to Dracus Duplessis. It's a good fight. It's a good fight, dude. That Kamzat guy. I don't know what's in the water in Chechnya, in that part of the world. Dagestan, Chechnya. Like, I don't know what's in the water there, man. Those guys are insane. And I don't like the whole wrestling style, like wrestle and ground and pound. Not the biggest fan. I did jiu-jitsu for a couple of years. So I like grappling overall, but I like it, on the feet. DDP for the victory? Really? You're rooting for? Okay, fair enough, dude. I don't have a dog in the game. I'm not like a fan of one or the other. It's an insanely good fight. All the other YouTube guitar streamers agree with you regarding the new Jackson Pro series. They say quality is trash now. It's a shame. It just is. The fact that such a legendary brand can come down to its knees because an investor is basically running the show, not someone who actually cares about the guitar. Like Kiesel. Vola guitars that you mentioned last week, by the way, dude, that we looked at it together. Kiesel, Vola, Legator, PRS, Carvin, whatever. All these brands got the master luthier running the show. The guy gives a damn, right? Cares, is involved. As opposed to now, bunch of investors running the show. What did you expect? These guys, Jackson, Washburn. Washburn is another one. Two of my favorite guitars are Washburn, and the quality is down in the whatevers. You know what I mean? The new guitars are horrible. Like I bought mine's built, like mines were built in 2005, 2009, back when they were still good. Anyways, don't get me started on this, okay? This is the new Randy Rhoads model, the limited edition pure metal, which, by the way, it looks pretty good. As upset as I am with Jackson, it looks pretty nice. Here are the features. Poplar body, a 3-piece neck through maple neck. So really they went with this whole, like they really wanted the neck stable and resonant, because 3-piece necks are much more stable than just single 1-piece necks, right? 12 16-inch compound radius, pretty standard for Jacksons. 24 jumbo stainless steel frets, very good feature, still standard in Jackson. Fishman Fluence modern bridge humbuckers. I got a guitar at home with that. They sound awesome. Floyd Rose 1000 series, lumen lace side dots, and a gig bag. That's pretty good. That's really decent. And then look at that. You have this cream binding. You got your like shark fin inlays. Lumen lays on this on the side is always a winner for me, by the way. Fishman Fluence Moderns, if you guys haven't had them, they're amazing, by the way. They're really strong, very articulate, pretty good pickups. My LTD guitar got a pair in there. One ply cream body binding, gloss finish. Maybe that's a bit of a downer, but it's Jackson, I guess, right? Electronics, Fishman Fluence. You got push and pull voice activation, so different voicings on that. Fishman Fluence, a lot of them are like that, so you don't change the pickup or single double, you just change the voicing. Mick Thompson's signature LTD got 3 voicings on 1 pickup, so pretty standard feature on Fishman. You have the Floyd Rose 1000 locking strap buttons, Jackson tuning machines. Doesn't really mean anything. I don't think it's locking. Dome style control knobs. Are they low or high frictions? I think they were high frictions, if I'm not mistaken. The control knobs on most Randy Rhoads, someone please correct me here. I think they were high friction volume knobs. 942 string, chrome hardware, and 25.5-inch scale. So there we go. Ebony fretboard. You guys said like Floyd Rose 10,000 times in this website, guys. Come on, once is enough. Dual action truss rod with wheel. Some people like that here. And yeah, shark fin inlays. Robot says they used to glue the wings and the neck was a whole piece from the strap button to the headstock. At least the neck throughs. Ah, interesting. Didn't know that. Dorothea says, I like the white body with black trim gold hardware Randy Rhoads model. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. The classic white Randy Rhoads. Hold on. Let's show everybody. Probably most people know what it is, but Randy Rhoads white guitar gold hardware. I know exactly which one you're talking about. This is what you're talking about. correct? This is the one you're talking about. They're so good. They look beautiful. I think I saw a 7-string version at some point somewhere from memory. And I may be wrong, but they look awesome. It comes with Seymour Duncans. Oh, okay. These ones are with the EMG. I didn't know Seymour Duncans. I mean, I guess you can change the pickup, right? Okay, I didn't know that. Interesting. But they're beautiful. There's no, like classic look. Like, they're so beautiful. All right, shall we listen quickly to this? See if there is a demo in this? Let's check it out together. I love how they just kicked it out of the park. Like, right away, they just came in with a liver punch. I loved it. There was no introduction. Just walk in and shred. Let's go. Yes. Woo! Yes. Isn't that wild? The only downer about it, honestly, is just the gloss finish on the neck, on the body, and the neck. If it is, I can see it shining. Like, if you look at the video, you can see it shining as they're playing it. Like, see that? You can see the reflections, right? Not a fan of that because it's just sticky. You just have to start sweating and heating up until it smoothens out. And, you know, you play with that guitar over time, it impacts it. Woo. God damn. It's so good. The song is, whatever this tune is. It's so good. But what I meant was saying impacted is like, you got a gloss finish and you play that over time, the gloss eventually goes away, right? You just keep playing it in your hand, rubs on the guitar, and so on and so forth. Which I guess it's normal when your guitar ages, right? But it's just the fact that it's sticky when you play with it. When you start to play, I'm just not a fan of gloss finishes. It looks great. It's just feel-wise, it's a little whatever. That's what I call, Doroteo says, that's what I call an axe with class, but has the looks that kill. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm upset with Jackson, but I agree with you. Let's go. Guys, check it out. I'm going to listen to this after the stream. I don't want to get copyright stuff on my stream. That's why I'm cutting it halfway through and all that. But check it out. It's pretty good. Again, I'm upset with Jackson. I'm not going to buy any more Jacksons. I didn't lie it when I say it in that video that I'll never buy another Jackson ever again. So I'm being honest about it. But if the guitar is as well built as they say and they present it, yeah, I hope somebody buys these and have a great time, man. I just hope people buy the guitar they love and it works well for them. I guess that's the point. That is the point. So there we go. Jackson came out. with these models as a limited edition. The Randy one's already sold out, which is insane. And they came out with the Warrior, with the King V. You got the Rhodes, obviously. You got the Kelly, and you have the Soloist, which is your Super Strat, basically. So here you go. If anyone's interested, there they are. Man, I really have mixed feelings about this. Really have mixed feelings about this. I gotta be honest with you. I'm still fresh from that video. Like, my Jackson now plays well after all the stuff I did to it. But it shouldn't be the case. Yeah. Curious, how many of you guys are Jackson players? Like, how many of you got Jackson at home right now? I know Dorotio, got some real deal Chapmans. I know Zuhair's with PRS. How many of you guys got Jacksons at home? I wonder. Like, one of the things I was hoping to do in that video that I made, I was like, all right, let's not just like, one of the disclaimers that I had at the beginning of the video was because I didn't want to alienate people or say like, look, you guys, like, I'm not saying every Jackson is bad. I'm just saying the one that I got wasn't ideal. Robot says, I have a Soloist. Nice. Okay. Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Because those Soloists, the necks are awesome if they've done it well. But yeah, hopefully, like, what I'm saying about Jackson is not throwing people off. It's my experience. Doesn't mean that your Jackson is bad. So yeah, put it out there. Speaking of Jacksons, speaking of old school stuff, have you guys seen the new Gibson limited edition that came out? That one is a little bit more limited than this limited edition. Robot says it's a 2012 one, so the quality is better in some areas, I guess. Oh, that's great news. I'm so glad to hear it, dude. Haven't tried the new one, though. Okay. I tried the 2023 model at a local store. And it was okay. It wasn't bad at all. But I'm so glad you like the guitar and it's working for you. Dorotio says, I got a killer deal on a used Jackson Dinky at a pawn shop. It was in mint condition. I got it for $200 and retails at $800. Ah, that's a good catch. That's a really good catch. Because some of the pawn shop people don't know anything about it. They just like do like a quick website, like internet Google search on it. And then some wrong model pops up and, and then they just sell it. A friend of mine bought a Fender like that. It was like a Pro Series and he got it like way cheaper. And I was like, dude, like, that's a lucky catch. I'm glad. Yeah. So that's a good thing. It feels great, doesn't it? Like when you get a win like that, especially with these guitar prices, when somebody's selling it, like a store is selling it like that. It's a good feeling. Can I tell you guys something? I'll tell you a quick story. Where I used to work, one of the places that I used to work, there was this elderly gentleman that used to work with me. He was one of the senior senior managers in that corporations that I used to work in. And he was a very kind guy, old school, smokes a cigar, comes back in, a little grumpy, you know what I mean? But a very good guy, a good heart. And he used to play electric guitar. This was a gentleman that I ended up later on teaching some lessons to. And he had arthritis in his fingers. It was in his late 60s, but he still wanted to play guitar and learn and fool around. Now, at that age, having a senior corporate role for a while, he had enough money to buy a whole bunch of guitars, and he loved Fender Strats. And so he had some Fender Strats, he had some Fender Tellys, and so on and so forth. And he wanted to sell one of those. And again, he bought a lot of guitars, like a few, not a lot, like 4 or 5 guitars. But he didn't know much about him other than just buying him and having him and all that jazz. And he wanted to sell one of those guitars really cheaply. I think it was like it was a Mexican-made Fender Telly, a butterscotch Fender Telly. And it was one to sell for like really cheap. And I'm like, no, like, dude, you know what I mean? That's not the price for that. That's the different model. You're looking at the wrong model. No, like, this is what you bought. And made me laugh. I'm like, dude, you bought the guitar. You literally bought it. Like, don't sell it too cheap. Like, I think it was selling at less than 60% of the original price, and the guitar was like mint. He didn't play it much. So yeah, but he was great too. Like, the guy who has arthritis in his fingers and still wants to learn to play the guitar. And the stuff he learned was really basic. Like, the stuff that I taught him in our classes was really basic. Like, we got to a point where we played the first position, you know, minor pentatonic, A minor pentatonic. Everybody knows that. But the amount of joy it gave him was so beautiful to see. He was like, oh man, like, he was really slow, trying to figure his way out with the fingers and everything else. But he was just like blown away. And then I'm like, look, and he can, you know, find the key to the song and do that exact same fingering on different parts of the neck, and it works. And he like did a really basic solo on one of his favorite songs. And it was like an AC/DC song or something. And it was, he loved it. And I was like, yeah, that's the point. That's the whole point of playing the guitar. I was so happy that day. I was so happy that day. I left like that. I remember that pentatonic session. I left that class feeling like a bit of a high, really happy, you know? Because I was like, him, I'm not going to say his name. Him he was happier than a lot of guitar players who, skill-wise, are a lot better and obviously don't have arthritis. Like young guys. He was happier than them. And that's what playing the guitar is about. Anyways, moving on. This was also, guys, this is the last guitar I got to show you today. But I thought it was interesting if there are any Oasis fans out there. This is going to be one heck of a pricey guitar, but it's an interesting one. The most anticipated guitar of the summer is here. First of all, it's not the most anticipated summer guitar, okay? Let me just put it out there. This title is Ball, okay? That's not a good title. It's not the most anticipated. Gibson announced his limited run Noel Gallagher Oasis Reunion Les Paul. Iconic Oasis Reunion is getting an ultra limited release, 25 only, each hand signed with a unique lyric sheet. Oasis's highly anticipated reunion tour kicked off on July 4th. Guitarists and fans alike have been captivated, no, not really, they were just interested, not captivated, by the P90 loaded Gibson Les Paul. All right, so this is a nickel P90s, by the way, right? 25 units through Gibson Garage London. Interestingly, because obviously Oasis, like Noel Gallagher, is British, so I guess that's why in London, not in America. And each guitar is a unique collector's item, hand signed by the guy himself, and it's supposed to be one of a kind. Now, funny enough, these are not the CEO models, so Mr. CEO didn't have anything to do with the building of these things. I thought it would be like, because he's been a little bit more involved. Like, he did one for Kirk Hammett's gig at Sabbath's last show. Yeah. So it's like Gibson custom nickel P90 pickups, Grover tuners, and a slim taper neck profile. And all that jazz. So, yeah, if anyone's interested in those, a mahogany maple guitar with P90s, nickel P90s, and all that jazz, and wants to pay a hefty price for it, Noel Gallagher. If there's any hardcore Oasis fans out there, you're in for a treat on this one. Can I say something? With these recent signature Les Pauls coming out, I like the Surge Tankion ones a lot more. Have you guys seen that one? Has anyone seen the Serge Tankian ones? I'll show you. Hold on. Serge Tankian, the System of a Down vocalist, for those who don't know. Gibson signature. Here you go. And boom. This is the guitar. It's an insane looking Gibson Les Paul. It's called Foundations. It's named after Serge's album. I did a review video on it, but check this out. So this art on the guitar comes from one of Serge's paintings. Dorothea says, haven't seen him. Yeah. So it comes from one of his paintings. And it also has, like, you know, a mahogany neck, slim taper profile, contoured heel, 22 medium jumbo frets, Burst Buster Pro pickups. So that's Serge's guitar. Out of all the recent signature ones that they've released, I found this one more interesting than the rest. Because the other ones are, like, very rinse and repeat. But look at the contour on this neck here. Yeah. I just found this one much more interesting than the other ones. Like, this was an interesting thing from Gibson, because Gibson usually sticks to rinse and repeat. The worked formula, old school, antique looking stuff, antique feeling stuff, sounding stuff. Like, they're in that business. They're in the business of retaining, right? Not in the business of innovation anymore. So when they did that, I was like, all right, well, that's interesting. I'm glad that they took the chance. And again, it's like a limited edition. They did 25 guitars only. But the fact that they did it, this is the painting, by the way. The fact that they did it was, I'm like, that's admirable. I like it. I think they did more of these kind of stuff. Yeah, the heel is insane. I love the fact that they did that, finally. Let's just hope the necks don't break easily. Also, by the way, I missed your comment, dude. You said that's what's all about, guys. Play what makes you happy and learn. Don't compare yourself to others. Yeah, preach. Preach. Don't compare yourself to others. So good. So important. Just do you. And have a good time doing it. Whoever has the most fun with guitar is the winner. Not whoever plays better. Right? The playing better has its thing. You know, you set a goal, you achieve it. And for those who are, like, you know, teaching guitar is their primary source of income, I guess it's a marketing tool and all that jazz. We all know all of that. But whoever has most fun with the guitar is the winner. By far. Right? It's not the guys who, you know, shred faster or show off or whatever. It's the guys that, it's the people that, guys and girls that have the most fun with the electric guitar that are the winners. That's it. And here's the thing, man. Like, it can make you feel like a king. You can do a solo or part of the song and feel like a rock star at home. That's the magic of it. It's like a drug. Like, honestly, like, I think if there's like a scientific experiment of some sort to like measure your brain waves and however your brain functions, right? When you're imagining yourself on the stage and you're like playing along with this, one of your favorite songs and really into it, I swear to God, I won't be surprised at all if the brain function at that point of time, like if they measure it, it'll be like someone who's like on some sort of a brain altering drug, right? Not like promoting drug, like not like, I'm not saying do drugs. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like the brain function is going to be very similar to whatever the drug of choice is for people these days. So yeah. Guitar is the best, Robot says. I agree with you. Robot says, what guitar have you sold that you regretted after a while? Okay. Believe me or not, I don't have that. There's no guitar that I sold that I regret selling, to be fully honest with you. One of the reasons why, though, is because I hold onto the guitars for a long time. And like I really dig deep into how I feel about a certain guitar before I decide to sell it. Right? Because I'm not in a buy or sell business, right? I'm just doing it because I love it. I just do these things. I buy them because I love them, genuinely love them, right? So it's not bad. I hope that answered the question. Yeah, so I don't think I have that, to be honest with you. Like, if I have a feeling that, oh, I might regret it later, I'm not going to sell. Why would I? You know what I mean? I don't have that, fortunately. I know there are a lot of people who have that. There was a guy who told me on one of my videos that he had this 20-year anniversary Washburn N4 guitar. And he loved it and he sold it. And he regretted so much after that. And I'm like, was there a financial reason you sold it? Like, did you need the money? And he was like, no, I just like too much space and there was like a lot and I needed to sell that. And I don't know why I sold that. And when I was selling it, I felt like I shouldn't do it, but I still did it somehow. And I'm like, man, that sucks. Yeah, that's bad. But no, fortunately, not saying it'll never happen. You know, you do this long enough, something bad will happen, right? You will mess up something. Like you will make a mistake. But fortunately, because not like by design, by default, I just sit on the guitars for a long time. I don't have that happening to me. Hopefully it will never happen, but it may very well happen. So I don't know. How about you? Do you have a guitar that you regret selling? Like you sold a guitar and you're like, gosh, I wish I didn't do that. Do you have that? One of our viewers, I think a couple of streams ago, was talking about selling a Carvin that he really wanted to keep, but somehow sold it, but he had to do it for financial reasons. Does anybody here have? You guys, do you have a guitar that you wish you didn't sell, but you sold? Because it sucks. Like for financial reasons, selling a guitar sucks. I sold a LTD guitar for $400 because I needed the money years ago. Like I was broke. I was really broke. So for those who don't know, I left home when I was 17. And I was on my own. And like I, you know, not fully on my own. I was with my grandmother and my uncle. But I left home at 17. And so money wasn't my thing. Back in good old days, it was tight. And then it was tight for a long time. So there was a point in time when I had to sell my LTD guitar for $400. Because I needed the money and it sucked. It was a bad feeling. I don't regret selling that guitar. There was nothing special about it, but I regretted it. Yeah. But sorry, not regretted it, but felt bad to do it because of that. Doroteo says, if I sell a guitar, it's because I'm buying another guitar. That I really want. Money comes and goes, but put the money towards another guitar immediately. Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. You're right. You can literally sell to fund the other one that you like. And the thing is, our interests change over time. Like, you bought a guitar a few years ago. You're a different person now. You're a better guitar player. You're just a better person, you know? And so you might not like the old stuff anymore. And you're like, all right, well, let's sell this and buy something better and something that now me as a better human, as a more complete player, is going to appreciate more. Yeah, I'm with you, dude. That's a great point. Robot says, a Dean ML. Oh, my Lord. Okay, hold on. A Dean ML. I said, oh, my Lord, because good Dean MLs are pretty insane. Yeah. From 2006, I sold it in 2009 or 10. It was okay, but last year I kind of missed that guitar. Which specific ML was it? Don't tell me that it's the Dimebag Darrell's Thunder. Don't tell me it's that one, because like it's a U.S. made Dimebag Darrell Thunder. I sold that one. That'll hurt. That'll hurt me on this side of the camera. What kind of ML was that, Robot? Let me share on the screen to tell you guys what I mean by this. Hold on. Dean ML US made Dimebag. I don't know if it's called the Thunderbolt. It is a Thunderbolt. I call it the Thunder. It is the Thunderbolt, no? Lightning Bolt. Sorry, yeah. Lightning Bolt. My bad. Hold on. Let me find that guitar. It's this that I'm talking about, folks. This is the one that I'm talking about. I hope that's not the one you sold, brother, because that'll hurt. That'll hurt me. It's this one I'm talking about. Yeah. All black one. All right, good. All black one with a Floyd and covered humbuckers, but it was made in Korea, so mid-tier, I guess. They're really good guitars too still. I'm sorry you had to sell it, dude. I hope it wasn't like a financial reason thing. It wasn't a yuck thing that you had to go through. I really hope it wasn't the case. Because I went through that and it sucks as a feeling. It really is not a good feeling. So I genuinely hope that wasn't the case for you. But yeah, Korean guitars are great, by the way. Korean guitars are great guitars. Like, it's not Korea. It's not like we might not look at it like Japanese or US made guitars, but Korean guitars are great too. So yeah, you should be able to. Have you ever tried to find it on Reverb? You might be able to find the exact same model on Reverb and get it just for the sake of good old days. If that makes you feel better and you enjoy it, that option is there, dude. If it's financially possible and life allows it, consider doing it. But yeah. So it is. This is us guitar players. Talking about guitars with this much passion, and we get so emotionally engaged with all of it. This is so us as guitar players, man. Bunch of guys just sitting there, and guys and girls just sitting there and talking about guitars. For some reason, we love them so much and we're so attached to it. I sold it because I went on a classical ego trip, I guess, and sold all my electrics. I don't know why I did it. So you used to be a classical guitar player. Is that what you're saying? Hold on. We gotta go. For those who know my rants about classical guitar, we gotta go to the look at me view. Join me for a second. Robot. Look at me. And if it's too close, still try to look at me. Look into my eyes. And if it's too much, just close your eyes and imagine me, okay? You used to be a classical guitar player? For a while. Thank God. Okay. Okay, I was about to lose my mind. Okay, for a while. So this is a redemption story. This is you finding your way back to the light. And finding the right path to electric guitars. Thank God. Okay. I was about to have a heart attack and give everybody a heart attack here. Because athleticism of electric guitar matters, guys. It matters, okay? Like for 6 years! 6 years! You were a classical guitar player. This is a redemption story. This is, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know the severity of this issue right now, 6 years! Classical guitar player. I went to school and they only had classical guitar. Okay. Well, that's yeah, I get it. I was about to have a heart attack. I was about to just scream my way and then get on a flight and come that way, and we're gonna have a serious chat together. But thank God. Okay, that was the bad influence of the schooling system. I totally understand that. That is okay. And you changed your way of life. You found the light and the righteous path of electric guitar. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, we can leave the look at me view. All right, we'll get out of there. Sorry guys, just give me a second. That was a rough moment for me. We got classical guitar players on this stream. Hold on, sorry. Just give me a second. Oh, my lord, that was difficult. I'm being that way, dude. I'm kidding though. This is serious business here. All right. Well, on that merry and happy note, I think we're going to end it here. I think it's a merry and happy note because we now have a beautiful story of a classical guitar player converting to the athleticism of electric guitar. Okay? And with that said, but I got so into it that I sold my amps, electric pedals like maniac, and then one day I was misshredding. Go back to shredding! Go back to it! Burn those classical guitars, throw them out in the trash can, and go back electric, okay? Now check this out. Oh, baby. Ladies, gentlemen, so good to see you guys. Thanks so much for joining today, and happy weekend, everybody. Love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Play your guitar. Have fun. Have a good time. Because that's what's life about. Guys, love you. Take a good care of yourself. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay? See you guys later. Mwah! Have a good weekend. Oh, baby, 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 baby.